Hello, I wanted to give explanation about how I set up my courses. I teach primarily online courses. The course that I'm going to demonstrate is file C.1b Marketing 330, and that is the Consumer Motivation and Behavior class. If you open up that document and you go to page 3, you'll see I have a chart in there. This is Marketing 330 Student-Centered Course Design and Conceptualization, and you'll see 4 quadrants that put the students at the center of learning. That includes the syllabi, Brightspace, assignments and assessments, and then facilitator myself. And then for this course, we also used what we call the Embedded Librarian and Marketing Insights GPT, which is an artificial intelligence GPT that I built. So I use a combination of different things. I don't just rely on the syllabus. I find over the years that when I kind of combine, different avenues of access for the students, they tend to, know more of what's, needs to be done, expectations, and different things like that. So I want to show you a little bit of how my course is set up. It's kind of a traditional setup. You can go, they can access the course, and I'm in instructor mode, so it will look slightly different in student mode. But I have a table of contents, so they can access everything as you see here if they, keep on scrolling. We have the embedded librarian in there, our classroom link, our textbook, how they can reach me through office hours. Our PowerPoints are in here. We have class assignments. I do like to do different types of class activities, like think, pair, and share, maybe little project-based learning assignments that they can do in groups, work on case studies, different things like that to kind of break up the class lecture each week. We have our exams. And then what I like to do is I break things down into modules, and that's where I get into the detail. Each module has a start. Each one has a discussion to create that, that kind of group work. And then each module also has an assignment. If I scroll back up to the top, there is a combination for this class of 6 modules. Basically, each module covers about 2 weeks worth of work. So if I was to click on module 1, and they're very similar in design, so it creates a very structured space for the students. Module 1, they can click, they can go to start, and here they'll see what's due over the course of the next 2 weeks. And they'll have a case study to read. This is group work that we do through a discussion board, and we then share also in class. We kind of go into further detail with this assignment. We have quiz, and we have our assignments in the My Marketing Lab. And if you've already reviewed my Marketing 210 course, I really love using these type of, MyTab, Pearson My Marketing Lab, different types of software, I guess it would be, for the students. They seem to really love it too because they've really become very dynamic. There is AI embedded in them now that can really customize the learning for the student. So I think it's a really nice touch for the class. And in the case of this class, the assignments are very dynamic. They come in forms of podcasts, problem-based learning. There's some even project-based learning in their scenarios. They have simulations, video learning. So it really breaks up makes it interesting, breaks up that kind of mundaneness you can get sometimes with assignments. So once they would click on there, they can go back out by clicking here, and they'll learn what their case study, in this case I call them discussions, what it'll be. And when they click on here, they'll get further information, including what their assessment process would be. There is a rubric in this class. Whoops. And, it kind of gives them some information here, where they have to, find it in the textbook, what questions to answer, when it's due, what type of formatting. And then I use a rubric, and the rubric lets them know what I'm looking for as far as criteria. And they seem to really like this because they get very clear feedback and very clear expectations when using the rubric. Once they start, they'll post and they do an initial post, which has to be substantial. They have to meet the criteria. And then they also have to do 2 peer responses. So it's a really great way to do interactive group work on their own. And then, like I said, on the second week, on Fridays, we'll discuss it even further. And what I will do sometimes is bring in some maybe current events and different things like that and compare it to what we were learning in the case study. So they tend to really like it a lot. So each module is structured the exact same way. There's a start menu. When they go there, they'll get their readings and assignments. There's a discussion, and then there's a quiz. And they really like the whole idea of the structure. There's some really nice creative projects I have in here where they can, kind of do the application through creativity, which I think is great for learning. Again, same format as you see here. Here's where we have our industry analysis paper, and this was the course where we used the embedded librarian, and we also used a marketing GPT. And basically, I worked with Dr. Kafta in the library, and we set up a really great resource for the library. We were trying to get students to use more of the library databases, business databases, and just the library in general. And we came up with this assignment working together. And we actually recently just presented at a conference about this using the integration of GPTs and embedded librarians in online courses. So it's very interesting, and it's something that we're going to keep exploring again in spring. We had the librarian's contact information in here if they needed help. We had a LibGuide that Dr. Copter set up. You can meet the librarian also in here, which was great. So we personalized the space. And then we also had different, office hours that he would make available for them. And then we had the GPT. And when you click on this link, I already have the window open up here. It would bring the students to this area here. And what I did was I customized this AI, Artificial Intelligence GPT, just for this class. Now, it won't give students answers. What it does, it works as an assistant, a marketing assistant for subjects in this class. It also helps them with research and find what they need. So in this class, we use IBIS World, which is a business database. We look at different business trends and consumer trends. And the GPT is customized to direct them to those databases and also Statista and a few other types. It also directs them to the Andrus library. So I give them a couple of prompts here. We did spend a class or two learning how to use this, learning how to use it ethically, understanding what plagiarism is, different things like that, which I think is important. In the business field, AI is very popular. It's not going to go away, so it's something we really have to address as professors. So you could basically type in anything in here about the course. So I am looking for some business data, maybe you can put in. It could just be a simple prompt. And the GPT would provide information to them on where they can start to, obtain reputable resources to help them with their project. And it also answers questions about consumer behavior, trends. For example, can you provide me with a recent consumer trend? And let's see what we get back. And it's great. It'll search the web. You could tell it to search journals. So it's really, really good. So it gives some really interesting stuff. So here they're talking a little bit about the rise of underconsumption. So not only does it give you information, but it gives you information that is current. It tells you where the information is coming from, and it gives you the sources. So it does have the ability to help them now go further into that go and collect information and then, you know, recommend that they do need to cite that even if it is coming from artificial intelligence. So this was a really big hit. They really, really liked it. They applied it to the industry project, which is in the course here. They had a lot of fun using the tool. Let me see if I can go down here. So this was the industry paper. It was for the pharmaceutical industry or hiking, coffee, and snack shops. So they had different areas that they could explore, and this was the information they were given. You know, the criteria. Here is the rubric, what they would be graded on, and of course we had a disclaimer for plagiarism. So another thing I really like is you can set up calendars in Brightspace. So for instance, this is when a quiz was due. It also gives you information about progress on students, which I really, really like. You can actually drill down depending how you use it. You can use agents that you can explore. So that way you can see if there's any at-risk students. We also have attendance, and I really like this feature a lot because you could set up a register for each class. And what it does is you can, you know, make the schematic however you like. I use your typical present, absent, you know, late, and excuse. But at the end, if you go all the way to the end, it tells you right away which student you have to find that haven't been coming to class. And I really, really like this feature because a lot of times they'll start, you know, off really strong in the semester and then they'll dip and then they come back strong again. So I just think it's a great feature to start to reach out to them. It'll even break down how many times they were present, late, absent, you know, and if there was an excuse for the instructor. Now, the syllabus is also within the course here, and it has a lot of detailed information. You know, the different types of assessments we'll have in the course, examinations, quizzes, discussion requirements, what are some of the weighted items, also my policies about attendance, dishonesty. So a lot of those, you know, typical policies you will see. I use a traditional grading scale. I do practice a lot of grading equity. I do this especially with the Pearson Labs. I do let students do retakes. I do believe in, you know, that scholarship, that retakes are good and promote, you know, very good learning experiences for students. So I do that. But as far as the grading scale, it's your traditional undergraduate, you know, setup. Extra credit, I don't give too much. I don't find that I have to, which is a good thing, you know, and then there's just policies about late assignments and different things like that. At the end, I also give them resources that they can use on all three campuses. Since I teach online, I get students from all three. And, you know, any type of pertinent information that could be useful for them. And let's see, I think I pretty much covered everything. So that's pretty much how I go back to this concept where you can see, you know, the group work and the case studies and the project-based learning, the, you know, peer teaching, all those different types of techniques that I use in the classroom. And that's how I kind of come to this you know, this idea of the student being the center of learning, incorporating the syllabus with, you know, certain information, Brightspace, you know, taking it deeper and further, and it's, you know, it's software that they can access 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, which I really like. The assignments and assessments, you know, how they are assessed and the type of assessments they will have, and then who I am, what my role is in class, you know, which is to promote that self-efficacy that every student should, you know, experience. You know, I'm there to help, to give knowledge, to give current knowledge, you know, to give feedback, to build, you know, community, which is so important, and to just really guide them through a really good experience. And then, of course, I use these outside technology tools, Embedded Librarian and Marketing Insight GPT, to make the experience that more interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave, you know, a little further explanation of how I set my courses up. Thank you for listening.